Hello YouTube. I hope everybody's having a great day. I wanted to share with you yet another video, this time about the Roku Ultra. This has been a very popular streaming device for a few years now. Roku has come up with many other products. I have actually used the Roku Express, which is their cheapest streaming player. And actually it has worked really, really well. My entire family has been very happy with its performance, its user friendliness, and just the general experience with the product has been really good. We do have some experience with the Google Chromecast. I actually created a video recently on the Google Chromecast, so if you haven't watched it, go check that one out. But this one is the Roku Ultra. It's a lot more expensive than the Express or the Chromecast, which usually comes for around $20-25. This one normally retails for around $100, but with Black Friday season going on right now, this is a great time to pick one of these things up. I think I got it for a shade under $50, which was a great deal on something like this. Other thing to add is this makes a lot of sense for us who use streaming players as the primary way to consume our entertainment. So we have cut the cord, so to speak, and really are reliant on streaming as the primary way of getting our content. So that's where having a good quality streaming player is really handy. Now, there was a specific set of reasons why the Ultra made a lot of sense to me to go ahead and get over the Roku Express. Like I said, it does a decent job, but this made a lot of sense to do anyway. The first and foremost reason behind this is 4K. This thing can actually support 4K versus Express and some of the other lower versions of the Roku don't really support 4K content. They primarily support 1080p, which for most TVs are good, but this one I really needed for our home theater. So in our home theater, we are streaming more and more of our content, and not really using Blu-ray discs as much as we used to. And so it became really important to get our streaming in 4K quality, so you can really get that immersive experience that home theaters are really meant to offer. And so this became a good option. So on the box it says here that it does support 4K but also HDR. This thing can also act as a DVR, so you could actually go ahead and record some of the content that you are interested in. So for those of you who are interested in doing that, you could actually put in a micro SD card in this and record some of your content. It does offer an HDMI, but also an Ethernet port, which is really important if you are going to be doing 4K content, because Wi-Fi, let's face it, can get a little spotty from time to time, and getting a stable connection coming in becomes really, really key. So having a device that is not entirely dependent on Wi-Fi but can also accept a Ethernet cable, gives you that peace of mind and really the quality that you're looking for. I also noticed that this thing also supports Amazon's Alexa and Google Assistant, which is Google Home type products. I haven't really got any experience with that, but I will be sure to check that out and maybe post a video later on what that experience really was like. As far as the specs of this are concerned, as I said earlier, it can certainly do 4K content, but obviously has some backward compatibility. The reason it can do all that is because it has a quad-core processor in it. This is obviously a high-end processor that's built into the unit, which some of the cheaper ones like the Express or even the Stick don't really have that kind of processing power. Like I said earlier, it has the micro USB or micro SD, slot and a USB port. So you could actually put in a USB stick or something and consume your content that way. Ethernet port, it obviously does support Wi-Fi too, so if that's what you have to use, and an enhanced voice remote with TV controls. This is really interesting because you could actually do a lot of your search for content using the voice remote. So instead of going through it, basically just trying to search it using the menu options, you could simply say that like you do with Alexa or Google Home and get your content that way. I'm hearing that the search feature on this thing is really good too. So it'll actually get you more of your content without missing out and you getting frustrated in the process. What's also interesting is this lost remote finder. I'm really looking forward to that. I think many of us can relate to that. Put the remote somewhere there and then hard to find later. So you can actually go up to the Roku device, press a button, and it can sound some kind of a beep or something. I don't exactly know what kind of a sound it comes, but it's going to show you or tell you where it is. So that's a handy feature. The other thing to notice here is also the headphones that you could attach to your clicker, and actually can get some of your sound that way, so you're not disturbing anyone if that's what you need at any point. I'm also hearing that the battery on the remote actually does go down quite significantly if you use this option, so something to bear in mind. But for the occasional use, I think this is good. So without further ado, let me actually open the box. I already unsealed it and show you the contents. So as I open it, it's a really nice packaging. I see that it's a bit of a matte finish on top. So let me take that thing out, and obviously it's all coated in some kind of a plastic wrap, so to protect the thing. So let me see if I can take this thing off and show you guys. Yes, it is piano black on the sides. Now, with the Roku device, you don't really need to put this in your line of sight for the remote to work. You can actually tuck it in somewhere out of sight. You could, because your remote is not actually using IR or infrared for connecting to the main unit. It actually uses Bluetooth. So you could actually just tuck this away and not see it behind your television or wherever you store this. But coming to the unit itself, it's got piano black edge here. It does say Roku Ultra. Here's your micro or your USB port, I'm sorry, and your Ethernet port, the most important thing in my application, the Ethernet port. And then, of course, your HDMI and a little micro SD slot. That's where you can actually record some of your shows. I actually picked up a micro SD card recently for, it was I think 120 gig for around $15. So these days, this comes really in handy. As far as the rest of, obviously there's the DC in, which is your power inlet, and that's about it. The base itself has a reset button. I think this must be some sort of a factory reset button, and of course the serial number and stuff. So that's the main unit itself. Let's put that aside. And it does come with your quick start guide and the remote itself. Now there are a couple of the things about the remote which is really interesting and really nice compared to the express remote that I'm used to. I see that it's got these 4 slots, but also these 1 and 2 buttons. What these do is basically, this is a generic memory button that you could actually program something into these buttons. So for example, if I am interested in watching, YouTube, so all I need to do is, press this button here and say, Roku, get me YouTube. And then I have to just press 1 right after that and keep it pressed. And then it learns, and now this becomes your shortcut to YouTube. The same thing with 1 and 2. So you have 2 buttons to program anything into. It doesn't need to be programs if you want to do something else. For example, raise the volume by 30% or something like that, you could record that in here as well. So it's really is recording the function that you have last recorded. This other thing I'm really excited about, because my current remote does not have volume control buttons on them. The Ultra remote does offer that, so I no longer will have to pick up the remote that came with my TV. So you don't have to do that. It's all built into one unit, which is really handy. And then here's on this side is your headphone jack, where you put in and you can do your listening that way. Obviously, it accepts some batteries here. I see these are AA batteries, 2 of them. So that I think works great. So this is going to be really handy because I don't have to deal with multiple remotes. Let's see. In here, as far as the rest of the packaging is concerned, there are a couple of AA batteries. There is our power cord to go into the main streaming device itself, and I believe this must be the headphones. And these are nicer headphones because they're JBL, and you could use them for your private listening. So yeah, that's what comes with the device. A little bit about the micro, the other devices that you see that are out there that you can purchase. I think the Roku device is really one of the more popular ones for a reason. It's a product that has been around for a little while. It's at least in its form factor, it hasn't evolved too much. But I think for what it offers, especially at the price that I got it for around $50, like I said earlier, I think this is great value for money. It really gives you a fantastic experience of using your television or the home theater in my case, and you won't be disappointed. I have had a couple of friends who have also tested and used this in the past, and they have all had a really good experience with Roku. So again, a quick video to show you guys this latest purchase that I made, and I'm really excited to open this thing and actually start using it. I think the whole family will be really, really happy. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.